Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Chaffee here with meteorologist Joe Rayo. Welcome to the Joe and Joe Weather Show on this Thursday night, November the 19th, 2020. And the Joe and Joe Weather Show brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware, Long Island's largest rock salt provider, and also the largest provider of all your winter weather needs for the coming season. And, well, you might need not just rock salt, but mag ice melting pellets and flakes, Petalo premium snow and ice melter, biomelt, geomelt, and of course, an assortment of spreaders, shovels, snow blowers, whatever you need to get through winter storms. Omni True Value Hardware is your go-to place. 1226 North Wellwood Avenue in West Babylon, New York, 631-756-1125, or just go to the fabulous website, omnitruevalue.com, Mr. Rayo. And now that we've had, after last night's 2-hour marathon with meteorologist Bill Goodman, which got rave reviews, by the way. Clive Barnes of the New York Post wrote that it was weather at its magnificence, or something.
What did Rex Reed say though?
Oh, he still is talking about how much he liked Ishtar.
Well,
Anyhow,
it was a good show. 2 hours that broke a record for us.
And if you missed it, by the way, it's on my YouTube channel, Joe Chaffee. It's in the library there. Last night's live cast with meteorologist Bill Goodman. If we can get a few more of these infamous long-range outlooks, well, they may be infamous after the season is over. We'll wait and see. But what I'm going to do is we had Jim Witt, we had Larry Cosgrove, we had Bill Goodman. If we can get a few more, I'll just make a separate playlist on YouTube so that it'll be easy for you to find, and you can check out their forecasts whenever you have the time.
We could actually have we don't even have to show up. We can have a whole week of the best of Joe and Joe.
Well, listen, it might work because one of these days we're going to need a vacation.
True. But then somebody's going to be needed to start all this stuff.
No, you can. There's a way around it. I can figure it out.
All right.
All right. So anyhow,
didn't get as cold. I honestly was disappointed last night or this morning. I thought it was going to get colder. I actually thought we were really going to radiate. And up here, we bottomed out at 20 degrees at 1:10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden,
we stopped
and started to go up toward daybreak.
We got to West Suffolk County, West Hampton Beach, Zabriskie Airport got to, I think, 16. And I got to 21, which I thought was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
MacArthur got to 23. There were a lot of, oddly enough, there were places that radiated last night that, not that they don't radiate, but I was surprised that they did as much as they did. Even in Nassau County, which, once you get a little closer to the city line, usually you don't radiate as much. But there were some spots down in Nassau County that got down into the low 20s, and same in parts of northwest New Jersey, northern New Jersey. Teterboro was about 5 or 6 degrees colder than Newark was, which is an unusually wide spread for those two areas.
Yeah, as you just said, there's some places that radiated, others didn't. In Central Park, I was disappointed. I actually thought that they were going to drop into the upper and middle 20s, and they kind of held steady right around 30 for much of the night.
Yeah, well, except for LaGuardia, I think what was LaGuardia, like 34 or something. They had the one jet that's in the runway that's taking off, that took off this morning, warming up into the thermometer.
It used to be Newark Airport was the place that never seemed to cool down. Now it's LaGuardia.
Yeah, well. Oh, I don't know, Joseph. It is what it is. So we're still in this this is actually an unusual day because we don't have a hurricane to talk about.
That's right.
So and there's barely any disturbed weather to talk about. I'm hoping that we're done with it because quite frankly, 30 is enough. So we're in the middle of November. Let's shut the tropical season down. I have a feeling it probably won't, but no matter. I'm just hoping that we can go for the rest of the month anyway and not see another named storm. But it's in the west. It's busy because they get that the flows coming in off the Pacific, and that is going to pretty much continue. But in the meantime, much of the rest of the country is really not doing very much when it comes to weather right now. It's just fairly quiet and probably going to stay that way.
Good. I think we could use a little bit of a break, especially for places that have had such atrocious weather. Case in point, down in Central America for the last couple of weeks. But people are already looking ahead to next Thursday, Joe, which is Thanksgiving. I don't really know how many people are going to be on the road this year because of the pandemic, but right now it looks to me like Thanksgiving 2020 is going to be a bit on the breezy, if not windy side,
Right.
cloudy, and maybe a little showery as well, but
Well,
mild.
at least the first part of the day might be, depending on the speed of that system for Wednesday. Hopefully, it moves along and gets out of the way.
It hopefully will. The temperatures at least will be in the 50s, it looks like. So it'll be a somewhat milder than normal Thanksgiving coming up this year.
High clouds are streaming across the Northeast, so that means we won't see temperatures nearly as low. The other thing is, by the way, the wind here was pretty busy late this afternoon into this evening. I mean, really busy. I was getting gusted to the 30s, believe it or not. So
Really?
yeah, I could when it gets windy, you can hear everything banging. That usually tells me that the wind is gusting at least into the 30s. And I mean, about 5 o'clock this afternoon, up until the last time I checked, which was at around a quarter of 7, there was stuff banging around out there. I was really quite surprised that the winds were gusting the way they were. It actually got pretty breezy here during this afternoon, during the afternoon hours as well. I guess with the high moving out, the gradient, the high is very narrow, and there is a gradient there to the northwest of the high center. So the west southwest flow is pushing that mild air in here fairly quickly, and these high clouds and the wind tonight means the temperatures are probably not going to go very far. And that'll set us up for tomorrow, where I think we'll bounce up another 10 degrees. We bounced up 10 degrees today from yesterday when we didn't get out of the 30s. So we're going to probably bounce up another 10 tomorrow and get to upper 50. I was thinking upper 50s and maybe some lower 60s.
And we'll probably start out the day with, well, a modest amount of mid and high level cloudiness. But from what I've looked at, Joe, I think the clouds will be pretty well gone by midday and afternoon. So after a semi cloudy start, we could end up with glorious blue sky and sunshine. And with temperatures shooting up through the 50s to near 60, it will be another spring like day in this month of November.
Weather in the mid-Atlantic is southeast, looking very nice. We've got mostly clear skies there. A little bit of cloud cover rolling in off the Atlantic into Florida, but nothing that's causing any major problems. And in fact, most of the southern half of the United States from east to west is fairly quiet. We're seeing some moisture coming into the Pacific Northwest following a storm that was moving inland yesterday and the day before. Most of that has translated inland. But as far as precip is concerned, there was a little bit of snow going on in northern Maine. There's a little bit of precip in northwest PA coming off Lake Erie. Looks like some rain showers there. And some rain showers up in the northern plains. And you got a little bit of activity going on in the northwest and in the northern Rockies. Again, this is nothing to really go bonkers over. It's relatively speaking, it's a pretty benign pattern. And the 21Z surface map, the high Joe's already out east of 70. And then you've got a bunch of isobars from there all the way back into a low in western Wisconsin. The actual low center is probably on the Minnesota side near Minneapolis. It's kind of sort of pinched back there. But here in these areas throughout much of the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, temperatures pushed up well into the 60s today. So some of that air is going to get in here. Meanwhile, in the Carolinas and Virginia, it was only in the 50s for highs this afternoon. At least the 4 o'clock temperature, the temperatures were in the 50s. You get to some low 60s once you get down into Georgia, and then you get into 70s when you get into Florida. There's no real cold air. Looking around, there's a little bit of cold air up in northern Minnesota, North Dakota, 20s and 30s there, northern Montana, and back up into southern Canada. That's where most of the cold air is going to stay for the time being. And out in the west, again, that storm has moved inland. You see it. I'm going way up here. I'm pulling all the way up to the south coast of Alaska, and that's where you've got low pressure there. I'm just taking a look at some of the numbers up there with the readings below zero, well inland, so we know where winter is. It's up there, and it's up in the northwest.
Yeah, well, Joe, there's not much for me to say. You pretty well covered much of the country, unless you want to go. I noticed, and I'm running a little behind you, but I know you're going all the way up into Alaska here.
Yes, I did. There's not much happening. It's fairly benign, and
that high pressure that's over Alberta is eventually going to work its way into our neck of the woods, probably during the middle and latter part of the weekend. We'll have a very quiet frontal passage, it looks like, on Saturday.
Right.
Saturday looks like a decent day, but the winds are going to turn late Saturday and especially Saturday night with that little high pressure bubble into the northeast. So that means that probably, whereas on Saturday we'll be up close to 60, we'll probably be dipping down more like into the upper 40s to around 50 on Sunday.
I totally agree. My concern earlier this week was that onshore flow with the high coming down from the north, and that it's a different setup in terms of what's going on aloft from what we had a week and a half ago when we had that big upper ridge sitting over Pennsylvania, and with a west wind and sunshine, and we're seeing temperatures up into the 70s. This was not going to be a repeat performance of that. WPC rainfall amounts are concentrated mostly in the Ohio and Middle Mississippi and Tennessee Valley over the next 7 days. Some of that is from this weekend. Some of this is also from the middle of next week with the next weather system, with up to several inches of rain in parts of Missouri and southern Illinois. We're kind of on the edge of a quarter to a half. They really backed off on the rainfall for Wednesday into Wednesday night. I don't know, man. That might be a little conservative, depending on how much moisture gets involved with this front. Not the first one for Sunday night. Oh, there could be a few showers with that Sunday night. The second one for later Wednesday night. I thought that would be more robust and more widespread. But
well, the European for that Wednesday system kind of backs off. It looked like for the last couple of days we'd probably have some showery weather for getaway day on Wednesday. The European is now kind of holding it back until Wednesday night, late into Thanksgiving Thursday. So,
all right. Well, let's see what
able to hold it back through Thanksgiving Thursday, but it's been wavering there.
Well, let's see if the new GFS has caught on to the idea. And I'm looking at the map, Joe, for tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock, where there's hardly a drop of rain or snow anywhere from coast to coast, which is something that doesn't happen very often in the large geography of the United States,
especially in November.
Yeah. Saturday looking good. There's that frontal boundary with that Joe's high that he just mentioned coming down from Alberta. You see it there over the Central Lakes on Saturday, and then it moves into southeastern Canada. So yeah, we get this weak frontal passage on Saturday. You'll only notice it because the wind will go around to the northeast. Showers are going to line up, and even a little bit of snow in western New York on Sunday with a approaching frontal boundary. I think Sunday is not going to be a good day from sky condition. We're probably going to be in clouds all day long, and there might even be a couple of scattered showers because there is a bit of a warm. The Saturday cold front comes back up or tries to come back up as a warm front, which may or may not succeed. And then we got a few showers to work through Sunday night before that front goes by. Monday and Tuesday look dry in the east. Tuesday looks cool or chilly, probably not out of the 40s. And then here comes low pressure heading to the western lakes on the GFS. Our high goes out on Wednesday, and it looks like we've got showers on our doorstep Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. Yeah, this run of the GFS2, Joe, is also kind of backed off on the volume of rain here. Although it does seem to want to hang the bottom of that front on Thursday with a little wave that develops on it, and that might be the reason why that may cause uh, certainly clouds to linger. And in fact, if you believe this, it's on and off rain all day long on the new GFS for Thursday as this wave develops, and then it improves for Friday, and then we got another low swinging around maybe for Saturday. That runs up into eastern Canada, maybe brings some snow up into northern Maine. But when you look across the country, right through this whole forecast period, at least through the next 10 days, there's nothing major here. And there's no tropical storms or hurricanes to worry that the models are picking up on that I saw. Action late in the forecast period coming into the west, and then we're into December. So who knows what that will bring, and God knows how many times the models are going to change. Let's just really quick. I want to just. I'm going to try to make sure I pay attention to this every day because I've been sort of trying to follow. Might be a good idea to just sort of follow what the polar vortex does in the stratosphere and see how that eventually matches up with what's happening. What winds up happening down the road, and we go from this wrapped up tight ball over the poles, and with the polar vortex parked near Siberia during during this weekend, and the models has been showing this rotating around, stretching, and the upper low tries to migrate towards eastern Canada and Greenland, and it does it again on this run. It's been very consistent with this sort of stretching and migration of the polar vortex. It's not the tight little ball as we get into the month of December, and it'll be interesting to see because it is a change in terms of the overall look up there. It'll be interesting to see if that ultimately translates into to something, maybe a window of opportunity for snow lovers later in the month of December for a short time. It wouldn't be unusual, even in the warmest of patterns. You often open up a little bit of a window of opportunity where you could get some cold and some snow. So this will be a learning experience for all of us to see whether it translates or not, because sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and we were talking about that yesterday with Bill Goodman, how certain things in the long range sometimes look real good, and then in other times or other years, it just falls flat on its face. So we'll see, and it'll be interesting to see whether or not, as we get into December, whether or not that vortex really stretches out. Um, I'm sure a lot of the folks on the chat board would hope that the vortex stretches to such a degree that maybe it'll actually split and allow for some kind of a significant flow of colder air to pour in. All of you snow lovers or cold weather lovers out there, but right now, while there are some hints that something may take place, it doesn't look like in the foreseeable future that is going to be the story.
Yeah, looking at the upper air, following it along, the flow is very progressive, so everything just kind of moves from west to east. The in between troughs, we've got this westerly flow across the U.S., so there's not a whole lot of excitement when you have that. Systems swinging down out of Canada, swing through the Northeast from time to time, which are the weather systems that we've been talking about. Now, the only thing I will say is late in the forecast period, you do have the models trying to generate some kind of troughing somewhere from the Aleutians, maybe down along the longitude of Hawaii, 160 west, which is you look for a deep trough there. That usually means a ridge in the west and that develops in the west, and a trough that develops in the east in the longer term. I'm also seeing, by the way, on the GFS that it actually does fire up something in the Southwest Caribbean in its long range. So we don't know if it's real, but if it does wind up being real, we wouldn't be shocked. Taking another system into Central America, but and virtually on the same spot, by the way, as Eta and Iota. So, but I'll go back to what I said yesterday. We got to get these Caribbean storms have got to stop, because if they continue to happen, obviously they've got to stop because they can't keep making landfalls in the same place where they've already had two majors in 2 weeks. But in terms of the overall pattern, it really speaks to how the overall pattern is structured. And when you have a tropical storm down in the southwest Caribbean, it means you've got a big ridge off the southeast coast. And that usually is not something that cold weather and snow lovers want to see. But who knows? December 5th now is the last day on the long range.
I'm looking here at the National Hurricane Center website, and something that we have not seen much of, if at all, so far this season. A blank map, and it says tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 48 hours.
Right, but if you go to the 5-day one, they've got the area in the Southwest Atlantic highlighted.
Near Bermuda, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. You know what? I'm not even going down that road
It's only
right
20%.
now.
It's only 20% chance. And number two, if it does form, it's going to be non-tropical. Although they do hint that if everything were to fall into place just the right way, it might actually ultimately evolve into some kind of a tropical system. But you're right. Let's not go there.
I'm too tired. I'm too tired with all of this. So we're back up full screen. I just want to check any questions from anybody on the chat board. They're all discussing the stratosphere rather intensely. I see, and that's a good thing. We encourage meteorological conversation on the chat board here, so we always like to see that. Izzy D just nailed super chat, and we appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. And I don't know, Joe, my glass of wine here I'm not drinking it as fast as I did last night.
Yeah, well, it was a long session last night. And,
I know. I'm kind of wiped out by it, by the way.
Yeah. Is there anything?
But it was fun. Yeah, I had a lot of fun doing it.
Now, is there anything in the schedule that you want to reveal to our faithful viewers about whether or not, because next week is Thanksgiving on Thursday, and whether or not I think you may be doing some traveling in the coming days, maybe.
Shh. No, shh. You know who could be watching.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
I'm going to go where there haven't been any big storms anymore.
Well, I don't know whether or not I'm going to be doing any traveling. If I do any traveling, it might be down the driveway. That's long enough.
Yeah, well, this is going to be an odd Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a holiday that I've always enjoyed because you don't have the pressure of. I mean, if you're bringing gifts over to wherever you're going, you can bring a bottle. That's easy. A bottle of wine, or you bake you make something to eat, or some cookies, or whatever. A good, some good liquor. So there's not really all the pressure that you have on Christmas. But as somebody said, if you want to reduce, talk politics be sure you talk politics on Thanksgiving Day, because that's a great way to reduce your Christmas list, your Christmas gift list of what happened.
In terms of Thanksgiving, what I was making reference to, Joe, is will we be on Thanksgiving? I don't think we're going to be on Thanksgiving.
No, we're not doing that. I don't think so. I mean, no, I really don't want to.
How about Black Friday?
Yeah, we'll so here's what we're gonna do. So there's no show tomorrow because it's Friday. There's not really much weather going on anyway. There's no show tomorrow. There's no show for Saturday. Okay. Assuming that I'm in one piece.
Saturday's an important day for me. I got to get my car inspected.
Oh, okay. So we'll shoot for Sunday. So unless I'm like totally a mess. We'll shoot for Sunday morning like we usually do, and then we'll take it by ear one day at a time next week.
Yes.
If it is, we rarely take long stretches off. So if it turns out that the weather's going to be quiet and we want to take a few extra days, we'll take a few extra days next week. Our audience.
Why don't we take off until we have a good handle on whether or not we're going to get the first snow of the season?
Well, what if that doesn't happen till March?
I was just going to say we may be off until January or February.
Yeah, I don't think we want to do that. So, I don't think I have the chairman. I got confused. It's my fault. I don't believe he sent me anything today.
I don't think he sent me
Yeah, so I
anything
think
either.
he's got something coming for Sunday. So I was warned to block off 10 minutes for these questions that he's going to send you for me.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
you make sure you look for them and over the next coming days. Okay, so this way you have them ready.
We know they landed. This is not, people send me things.
Anthony Orr just hit super chat. Thank you, Anthony. Good to see you, our resident hurricane statistician that you are. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Joe.
I get a whole list of, like you send me everything, on Messenger, and so does my sister and friends like Pete Bergman and whatever. But sometimes people send me things, and it's in a totally different. It's not Messenger. It's like my inbox, and I don't know how to get into that inbox.
Well, you're on.
Sometimes it'll appear. Sometimes it will appear when I hit the little button for Messenger, and all of a sudden, all these messages that in my inbox appear. And sometimes I'll hit my Messenger
Are you
icon.
sure your inbox is not like your email inbox?
I don't know what no, not my email inbox. You mean on Facebook?
No, on your email inbox, your AOL email.
No. This is Facebook. I don't know how to describe it, and since I don't know how to describe it, it's going to become a complete and total enigma for
Well,
the
we've
rest.
got, by the way, we've got two more super chat hits tonight. Mark G, thanks, Mark. Really appreciate it greatly. And Scott Briller, and Scott says the chairman says you have the Briller Jeopardy questions somewhere. I don't know. You'll have to find them, but he says you have them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, I'll find them. If it takes me the better part of the weekend, I will look, and once I find them, I'll just make a copy
I
and
mean,
put
the
it in.
only thing I can think of, what you're saying that's an inbox on Facebook. The word inbox is on there, then you should be able to click on that word inbox and it will bring up your whatever your
Oh,
messages
I'm
are.
looking. I'm typing in here this little thing. Search results for inbox. Wait a minute. I'm going to put inbox. Inbox. I put inbox.
You can
Um,
see the technically savvy here at work, by the way. Go on.
and it says all and posts and people and photos and videos. I'll hit people. What do I get here?
No, okay.
No.
No, on you have your Facebook weather page up, correct?
Yeah.
All right. On the left side of that page, if you kind of move your page down a bit, there should be something there that either says inbox or messages.
I'm looking at the left side. It says intro, 13K
Yeah. In
followers,
fact, I can
page,
show you on mine. All right.
edit details, add hobbies,
Hold
edit
on.
features, photos.
And you're on your weather page. You sure?
Yes,
All right.
yes.
So look, your screen's going to come up. It's 12 seconds behind mine. Okay. So
Right.
I've got my Facebook weather page up here. It's a little tutorial for all of you folks, by the way. So take a look at this. Now look on the left. You're going to see it says Manage Page on the top.
Hang on, I'm still waiting for it to appear on my.
It should appear. It's about a 12-second delay. It should be there by now.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you see on the upper left it says Manage Page.
right.
Okay. Does your weather page look like this? Does your Facebook weather page look like this, or do you have your personal page up?
No, I have my professional page, one with a little check mark, and
Okay.
I don't have that.
It doesn't say manage page in the corner like mine. And if you notice, if you go down, there's the word inbox there. So if you click on it, it opens up to a whole thing of messages.
Right. Nope, doesn't have that. Not on my page.
That's bizarre. That's really strange.
It is.
And what does it say on your page?
What do you mean? What does it say?
What does it say instead of saying on mine? It says manage page.
It doesn't have anything on the left-hand side, Joe. That's what I've been telling you.
Okay.
There's nothing on the left-hand side. Underneath search Facebook, it's blank.
All right. And did they switch you over to the new version of Facebook?
This is the new version. The new and improved version, which has been nothing but hell.
Something's not kosher here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, I can't really help you because you're there and I'm here. So
yes.
But maybe we could get the fabulous Mrs. Rayo to help you out with this.
Oh, please. Please.
I knew that would garnish a reaction.
Don't do that.
Okay. I promise I won't. All right.
I hear the footsteps, the football.
She's coming down. Well, what's on Me TV at 8:00 because we're bleeding into it. And last night, because I couldn't sleep last night, I was watching a little bit of
What
Perry.
What is on 8:00 on Me TV?
I don't know. Is it Andy Griffith?
I think Andy Griffith is on right now.
Okay. Yeah, no, last night on Perry Mason, it was the case of the terrified typist. And she was terrified. All right.
It's amazing.
Look on your chat board.
On my.
Yes, they're telling you to look on your chat board.
My chat board?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a chat board on Facebook. I know what she's doing. She went on YouTube to try to figure this out.
No.
Oh, the chat board is telling me to look on. I don't know.
Well, while you're looking, the Joe and Joe Weather Show is brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware. They're getting ready for winter, and hopefully you will be getting ready for winter and the winter storms by making sure you have plenty of rock salt, plenty of mag ice melting pellets and flakes, plenty of Petalo premium snow and ice melter, biomelt, geomelt, spreaders, shovels, and everything else you need to get through winter storms. OmniTrueValue.com is the website, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue, West Babylon, New York, 631-756-1125. So did you find it?
How do I take a picture of my page? How do I take a picture of the page?
He says it's on the YouTube chat board.
On the YouTube chat board?
Yes.
What?
I'm waiting for her to come.
Question.
I'm waiting for Mrs. Rayo to come down with a very sharp object.
It's all your fault. You opened your mouth.
I know. Well, what can I tell you? She watches this show.
Yes.
Well, look.
It's the highlight of her evening.
You've got 2 days to figure it out, and in the meantime,
we may not have a show on Sunday. You know why?
Why?
Because I just may take this whole computer and just break it.
Well, it's not the computer. It isn't the computer. That's not the issue. But look, no matter. If you hit print screen, if you want to send me a screenshot, you can email me a screenshot by clicking the print screen key, and then saving that to a file, and then you can email it to me, or put it on Messenger.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So, like, if you hit print screen and then you go to go in Messenger and do a right mouse click, and you'll see the word paste come on. You can paste it on there, and I can take.
Well, I just took a picture.
Okay.
I just took a picture of the screen.
Okay. So,
you want to send it to you on?
Send it to me on Messenger, and we'll work this issue between now and Sunday.
Oh, I don't believe this. I don't believe this, Joe.
What?
Now I just hit Messenger to send this to you, and up comes the screen that I can't access on my own. It comes when it decides to come.
All right.
Now I'm looking here.
Okay.
See?
All right. Look, let's end it. It's been long.
It says what does that say? Inbox. Messages. Messenger. Automated responses. And whatever. It comes when it decides to come.
All right. You know what? Let's just get the questions and write them down in a notebook or something, and we can work them on Sunday. Okay. So everybody have a great night. Joe and I are exhausted. We had a rough week. We did a 2-hour show yesterday, so mentally we're fried. And if we keep this up, we're going to fry everybody that's listening. So good night. Have a good Friday and Saturday. And